There we go. There we go. Stuff is happening. Ah. Whew, there's actually only one satellite on this launch tonight. Paranor says, Annie, by the way, you and Eddie now share the experience of knowing what stink bug tastes like. Ugh, ugh. I'm just glad that when all the time I've spent in Pamela's attic, that they've, you know, kind of been nearby, but they haven't made it a point to get in my mouth. Yeah, carbon fiber is happening, which is better than nothing. And my dogs are refusing to be on camera because they know I'm talking and they know what happens or what I do to get them on camera. I feel like I should go and get another juice box just in case there's more bits. Ugh. Ugh. Henny says dirty dishwater might not be terrible. It's not as bad as the barf. Oh, there goes Planetary Plan.
Hello and welcome to the live broadcast of Rocket Lab's 9th Electron mission as the crow flies. We are currently at T-minus 14 minutes away from liftoff, and Electron is sitting tight on the pad at Launch Complex 1 on New Zealand's Mahia Peninsula. My name is Max Muncy, and I'm coming to you live from Rocket Lab's Mission Control here in Auckland. Our first launch opportunity is scheduled for 22 minutes past 2 in the afternoon, New Zealand Daylight Time. We have a 4-hour window to make it into orbit today. However, with the unique payload deployment requirements, we actually only have one instantaneous launch opportunity within the window. We are currently tracking upper level winds, and it's possible we could be no-go at T0. We'll still have plenty of opportunities across the 14-day launch window. You can keep up to date with this mission's operations on Rocket Lab's Twitter and Facebook, as well as on our website. Today's mission is a dedicated launch for Astro Digital, a satellite manufacturer and operator based in California. This mission will fly to Palisade Technology Demonstration Satellite. It's a 16U CubeSat bus with an onboard propulsion system, a next-generation communication system, and software developed by Advanced Solutions Incorporated. This mission is named As a Crow Flies in a nod to Astro Digital's Corvus platform. Corvus provides flexible and cost-effective solutions across a wide range of applications and mission profiles on bus variants ranging from 6U and 16U CubeSats all the way to ESPA-class payloads. So why crows? Corvus is also the name of a widely distributed genus of birds, which includes crows. This flight is a special one here for the team at Rocket Lab. Due to the unique orbital parameters of this payload, the kick stage will be deploying at more than twice the altitude of any Rocket Lab mission to date. Now after liftoff, you'll notice that Electron will take a minute or so longer than usual to reach orbit, and that's for one very interesting reason in particular. Known as the South Atlantic Anomaly, there is a naturally occurring region of high-level radiation some hundreds of kilometers above Africa that stretches all the way to South America. While you don't notice it at ground level, up there it's been known to mess with electronics and other aspects of orbiting satellites and spacecraft. The International Space Station, for example, requires extra shielding to deal with this problem when it passes through the region, and laptops have reportedly crashed when the space shuttle would pass through it. For every launch, we do everything we can to give ourselves and our mission partners the best chances of success. So for this flight, our guidance, navigation, and control team have devised a path for Electron's trajectory that they've dubbed the Buchanan Maneuver. It should help ensure we duck underneath this anomaly and avoid it before resuming our climb to orbit. It'll mean our Stage 2 burn will last a little bit longer than usual this mission, but other than a different view from the onboard cameras, we'll experience no impact to Electron's performance with the procedure. With a bit of time to spare before the countdown, let's take a closer look at LC-1, home of Rocket Lab's first launch site, and the pad that we'll be launching from today. Our Director of Mission Management and Integration, Amanda Stiles, has more.
Welcome to Rocket Lab Launch Complex 1. This is one of 2 Rocket Lab launch sites for the Electron launch vehicle. It was built in 2016, and we can support up to 120 launches here per year. Launch Complex 1 is located on the stunning Mahia Peninsula on New Zealand's east coast. Limited air and marine traffic and a wide range of orbital inclinations from 39 degrees all the way up to sun synchronous make this the best spot in the world for launching more frequently than anywhere else on the planet. We're standing inside the vehicle hangar today at Launch Complex 1. This is the last stop for Electron before orbit. At the peak of launch operations, we have around 40 to 50 people here to support launch. The individual components of the Electron launch vehicle are assembled and tested at different facilities at Rocket Lab. That includes the 3D printed Rutherford engines, which come from our Huntington Beach facility, as well as some avionics components, which are then shipped down to our Auckland production complex, where they are inspected and sent out for final integrated testing. Once the engines complete their integrated testing, they're brought back to Auckland, where they're integrated into the launch vehicle stages themselves, and then those stages are shipped out to LC-1 for final test and assembly. We're inside the clean room at Launch Complex 1. This is where the satellite gets integrated to the payload plate, which is mounted on the kick stage, and then the payload gets put into the fairing in a process called encapsulation. In this clean room, this is the last time human hands will touch the satellites before the fairing opens up and they're deployed in space. Inside the clean room, we process the payloads and then perform final electrical and mechanical mate to our kick stage, which you see in front of me. During encapsulation, the payload is already mechanically and electrically mated to the kick stage. At that point, we break over the entire kick stage and payload assembly. We roll the fairing in from the doors, and then we precision roll the fairing over the top of the kick stage plus the payload. Then we perform a final mate, and it's ready to be mounted to the launch vehicle itself. LC-1 has 2 clean rooms, so we can dual process 2 payloads at the same time. Just outside of this clean room, we have a dedicated customer area, so customers can sit and observe the payload integration process without being gowned up in this special clean facility. Welcome to the business end of Launch Complex 1. This is Electron's launch platform, and it's where all the action happens on launch day. 65 tons of steel go into this custom-designed launch mount and strong back. In the hours before liftoff, Electron is rolled out of the vehicle hangar horizontally, then the strong back secures onto the rocket and lifts it vertical, ready for launch. At about T-minus 3 hours, we begin fueling operations to fill Electron with a highly refined kerosene and liquid oxygen for the Rutherford engines to burn through on their way to orbit. The focus tends to be on Electron at the moment of liftoff, but if you look closely, you'll see some clever ground systems at work too. Around 45 seconds before the Rutherford engines of the Electron ignite, a water deluge system starts spraying hundreds of liters of water per minute at the base of the rocket. The water helps dampen the noise created by the roar of the rocket as it lifts off. So when you see the big cloud at the base of Electron during liftoff, that's actually just a big cloud of steam created when the heat from the engine flames meets the water from the deluge system. The last stop on today's tour is range control. On launch day, every seat behind me is filled with operators on console. Each operator on console here is monitoring the vehicle, the pad, and the payload to make sure that it's ready for launch. That means everything from weather and ground systems all the way through to propulsion and avionics systems on the launch vehicle itself. The final countdown comes from Mission Control in Auckland, with the team that's based here is closest to the action during liftoff. At just under 3 kilometers from the pad, the team here gets a pretty spectacular view from the window right over there. After a lot of months of hard work, it's a great way to celebrate with a front row view of the launch.
As Amanda mentioned, LC-1 is capable of handling up to 120 flights a year, and as of just last week, the Federal Aviation Administration has issued Rocket Lab with a launch operator license for Electron missions from LC-1. This is an important step in making the Electron the most frequently flown rocket in the world. All Electron missions so far have been carried out under various flight-specific FAA licenses, but with our new launch operator license, we can perform multiple Electron campaigns from LC-1 for the next 5 years without the need for a fresh license every time. That means we have a streamlined path to orbit for our customers. Efficient licensing supports frequent launch opportunities and our goal of truly responsive space access, and we're thrilled to be delivering this for small satellites. So from LC-1 over to Launch Complex 2. During our last webcast, I mentioned that our second launch site in Virginia was approaching a couple of key construction milestones. Well, in the past few weeks, we've ticked those off our to-do list with the recent installation of the launch platform at LC-2. The new site largely mirrors Rocket Lab's primary launch location in New Zealand, where the Electron vehicle is transported horizontally down the launch ramp and is then lifted vertically by the strong back for liftoff. Since work began on LC-2 at the Mid-Atlantic Regional Spaceport less than 9 months ago, more than 1,400 cubic yards of concrete have been poured to create the pad on which Electron's launch platform is mounted. The 65-ton launch platform was installed into its final position last month, readying the way for the 44-foot strong back to be mounted to the platform. The final step will be the integration and test activities expected before the end of the year. Once the site is complete, work begins on testing, commissioning, and integration at the site in preparation for the first Electron launch from U.S. soil slated for early 2020. Thank you again for the drive and dedication of the Virginia Space, Mars, and NASA teams, as well as our many local suppliers to help us build this launch site in record time. We can't wait for its official opening and the first flight in the coming months.
So Keeper of Maps wants me to get the Make It Rain patch because that's what I yell at the dogs when I throw them Cheerios. Make it rain! They don't take PayPal, so I'm not going to buy it tonight. But yeah. Planetary Pan says, when this is over, we should raid Econ Greg if he's still streaming. He needs help building
his stream. In
August this
year, we announced our plans to recover and refly Electron's first stage. It's an important R&D project that aims to help us launch faster and more frequently by foregoing the need to build a brand new first stage for every mission. Our last launch, Look Ma No Hands, carried test instrumentation to help assess Electron's re-entry environment and to help us design future stages that can withstand the heat and forces of re-entry. The teams analyzed the data from this mission, which has informed block upgrade stages for Flight 10, the mission currently scheduled for November this year. The stage just completed a full hot fire test and is shipping down to Launch Complex 1 for pre-launch checkouts in the next couple of weeks. We're getting close to our target liftoff now, with just about 3 minutes left on the clock. I'm going to leave you now with our mission control operators as they take us through to liftoff.
They're typically pretty quiet. Usually you can see some sheep around the launch pad. I don't know if that's a thing.
Flight on mission.
Flight avionics.
Please confirm all AV bets have been switched to internal power.
Vehicles on internal power.
And avionics, please confirm stage power disabled on all 3 stages.
Confirm ground power disabled.
All stations, be advised, vehicles now on internal power. PLS flight mission.
Go.
Please begin lock skid recirculation.
Circulating.
Pressing locks.
PLS flight mission.
Go.
Please disable anti-geysering and confirm.
All stage anti-geysering is disabled.
Stage 1, please confirm tanks pressed.
Confirmed, tanks are pressed.
Stage 2, same to you, confirm tanks pressed.
Stage 2 is pressed.
Performing AV battery checks.
High flow engine purge active.
Commanding deluge enabled.
Deluge running.
Readying Gen C systems. Re-readying engines.
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Lift off.
Beginning venture.
Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
As the Crow Flies has left the nest and we have liftoff. The forces against the rocket are increasing as Electron travels through the Earth's atmosphere. Soon we'll approach the point where forces are at their strongest, otherwise known as max Q or maximum aerodynamic pressure. So let's check in on
One
Electron's
HP
performance.
battery discharge is nominal.
Electron is supersonic. Approaching max Q. Cleared max Q.
As you just heard from our GNC operator, we are now past max Q and on the way to our destination, more than 1,000 kilometers above the Earth.
Guidance is nominal. Altitude is 30 kilometers. Speed 1 kilometer per second.
Stage 1 propulsion is nominal. Prepare for main engine cutoff.
Soon
in
Electron's
30
first and
seconds.
second stages will separate. First, the 9 Rutherford engines on stage 1 will shut off, a process known as MECO, and then the first stage will be jettisoned, which frees the way for the second stage to continue onto orbit. We should hear confirmation of this separation shortly.
Entering burnout detect mode. 10 seconds till staging.
Stage 1 MECO.
Stage set succeeded.
Stage 2 ignition confirmed.
AOS at Chatham Station.
Main engine cutoff has been confirmed and Electron's first and second stages have successfully separated. Next up, the fairing will be jettisoned from the kick stage. Let's listen in.
Fairing separation succeeded.
And we've had confirmation that the fairing have separated. We're 3 minutes and
Stage
10
2
seconds into
propulsion
this
is
mission
nominal.
now and on track for payload deployment at our final destination. If you're just joining us for the webcast of Electron's As the Crow Flies mission, We've had successful main engine cutoff, stage separation, and stage 2 ignition. Propulsion is nominal, and the Crow is flying straight and true for today's mission so far.
We have some time before the
Guidance is nominal. Altitude 220 kilometers.
Seconds
Speed
into flight.
2.7 kilometers per
Electron
second.
is looking great as we continue onto orbit.
They sure did hit space real quick, Hannies. It's going to take some time before kick stage separation happens.
H2 HV battery charge is nominal.
They haven't announced hot swap yet.
Stage 2 propulsion is nominal.
Electron is looking healthy with a velocity of 1,100 kilometers per hour and an altitude of 295 kilometers ahead of battery hot swap. Those of you who are seasoned Rocket Lab launch webcast veterans will know about this next step, but if you're new around here, one of the unique things about our Rutherford engine is that its fuel is fed by electric pumps. We're coming up to the point in the flight where the batteries powering those electric pumps are fully drained, so we do what we call a battery hot swap. We swap power from the 2 depleted batteries to a third fully charged battery, and then jettison the depleted batteries to provide a much more efficient ride to orbit. Let's listen in on that step now.
HV battery discharge is nominal. Approaching hot swap in roughly 30 seconds. Hot swap successful. Battery charge successful.
There it is. We have had successful battery hot swap. Electron's trajectory continues to look nominal as we hit 7 minutes and 5 seconds into this mission.
Yeah, it's super cool to see them drop the batteries.
Quick update for As the Crow Flies. Electron is on its way to orbit, and we have approximately 1 minute and 45 seconds until second engine cutoff.
I wonder what that purple is.
High voltage battery discharge holding nominal.
We're about 1 minute away from kick stage separation, and Electron is continuing nominally.
Fair. I guess you don't want to send a really expensive camera into orbit and, you know, never recover it. Yeah, the battery hotspot thing is still wild. And as RefSmat says, do not dispose of your own spent batteries this way.
Entering stage 2 burnout detect mode.
Another update from Rocket Lab Mission Control. Electron continues nominally on its mission with a current velocity of nearly 25,000 kilometers per hour and an altitude of 437 kilometers. We should have confirmation of second engine cutoff shortly.
Guidance is terminal. Vehicle is in transfer orbit.
CQ confirmed.
Great news from our launch operators at Mission Control. Electron's second stage Rutherford engine has shut down as planned. The final destination for As the Crow Flies is some 1,000 kilometers above the Earth, which is much farther than we've ever flown before. For that reason, we'll be ending today's webcast shortly with our payload deployment scheduled to take place in the coming hours. Stay close to Rocket Lab's Twitter and Facebook accounts for updates. So with Flight 9 off the pad and Flight 10 just weeks away, it continues to be a busy year from us. This rapid growth means there are always some amazing career opportunities here at Rocket Lab. Visit our careers section at rocketlabusa.com. We're always on the lookout for talented people, and we'd love to have you as part of the team. And with that, we're going to close out today's webcast. A big thank you to our mission partners, Astro Digital, for choosing to fly with us on our 9th Electron mission. We'll see you back here in November for the next launch. Until then, I'm Max Muncy, and thanks again for joining me and the rest of the team for today's flight. This is Rocket Lab Mission Control, signing off.
All right. So, yeah, that was a thing. Yeah, everything went well. Everything did what it was supposed to do. It was amazing. There we go. It's amazing. And yeah, double feature. Had weekly space hangout, and then we had a rocket launch. M. Shupon says, I wish they'd give an update on those sheep. Are they startled? I have no idea. And you want to know what? I bet you if you dig deep enough on the internet, you might actually find their wool for sale, specifically. And yes, Hanny, humans are awesome. We are capable of doing some amazing things. Yeah. I'm a little tired from streaming for a couple hours, so I am going to do my best to wrap it up. If I can find all the things I need to find. So it's Wall of Text time! M. Shupon says, so I'm thinking if I disguise myself as a sheep, I'll be allowed to watch a rocket launch up close. Depending on where you are in the world, you don't have to do that. You could probably go and see a rocket launch if you have the right permissions. I believe there are some people that just like go and park on the roads outside of the blocked area and watch the launch. So I could see it. Miss Town says that sounds like a bad idea, but nice pun. Nice pun. Yes, there are launches that you can see in Florida. It sounds like there's launches you can see in California. It sounds like there's going to be launches again in Virginia. So yeah, there's launches in China, but I don't really know where those are. And if you guys have access to launch pads in China, like to just go and watch, just go and watch and enjoy it. Yeah, those are all of the places that I know of. I'm amused by that combination of emotes, Bad Panda Bear. It's our rocket in front of a moon and a sheep, and Parador follows it up with a creeper. All right. Run from the creeper, everyone. Run from the creeper. Okay, so this has been a production of PSI, that's Planetary Science Institute, working in collaboration with Youngstown State University here in Youngstown, It's dark outside now. Ohio. PSI is a 501c3 nonprofit, which is fancy speak for your donations are tax deductible where laws allow. Speaking of donations, we are here because of you. So thank you for all of your bits, your subs, your donations, your pledges on Patreon, your merch purchases. I don't think I'm missing anything. Thank you for that. And if you can't afford to do any of that, we get it. Really, really, we understand. Follows are free. Subscribing to our YouTube is free. Joining our Discord is free. Just hanging out and chatting with us during streams are free. We stream. Our normal streaming schedule is Sunday through Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Right now that's 1,700 hours UTC or 1,600 hours UTC. I can't math. I'm going to go with 1,700 hours UTC. And now I'm like second guessing myself. Anyways, is it 1 p.m. Eastern? Sundays is myself, hi, Annie, doing usually colorization with Hubble Space Telescope data. And Monday through Friday is mostly Dr. Pamela. And on Wednesdays myself, giving you your daily-ish dose of space and astronomy news. Yeah, I think that's all. Keeper of Maps is like, okay, Eastern is 4 hours behind UTC at the moment. Yeah, time zones are hard and they're changing and I wish they'd just stay static. Oh yeah, and space toilet updates. There's still 4 toilets in space for 6 humans. Keeper Map says, time zones are your friend. They are my friend, but they're also hard. They're hard when they change. That's my complaint about time zones, is it's hard when they change. I don't think I'm missing anything. And suddenly Tink. Yeah, and suddenly she walked away. I don't think I'm missing anything. I'm tired. All right. So I'm going to wrap it up. Keep being awesome. Have a wonderful insert time of day here, and I will see you all on Sunday. And make it rain! I'm going to have some pursed Cheerios. And yes, there's a Cheerio on Puck's back. And the cat woke up. I don't think y'all can hear the cat, but I can hear the cat. Thank you for the bits. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you all for being awesome. I will see you Sunday. Yeah, bye.